It's okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so two aspects, please. At a new chapter of my life,
Mhm.
so getting momentum and resiliency around that, and awareness about a week ago that I see that there's certain incidences in my life wouldn't be occurring if I had a strong relationship with my money line. So, how can I grow that, please? I'm getting more connected with being in my own energy rather than allowing everybody else to push and pull me around.
Right.
Um, I'm getting more like distinguishing the frustrations in respect of is that a frustration because I'm not leading my energy, or is it a frustration around what's going on? So getting better at distinguishing certain aspects. So now, how do I grow different relationships with different aspects of my chart, please?
Okay, that's a really broad question, Carrie. So I'm just going to ask you to be a little. So, what was the first one? I didn't get the first question at all. Can you say it again?
Well, the particular aspect that I want to grow in my chart, the relationship with, is the money line.
You mean the 14-2? Is that what you're talking? Because you don't have what we usually call the money line defined in your chart. So I
No,
don't.
exactly. That's why I want to grow a relationship with that, because
Well,
it
and what? Okay, so don't be confused by it being called the money line, meaning that it's the only place in the chart having to do with money.
cool.
What
What
is it that you really want, Carrie? Like, not in terms of the chart. What is it that you really want, that you're
well,
looking for?
there's I don't have a um I have a very disempowered aspect with money.
Okay.
So I'd like to create that um to where I feel empowered, not I certainly feel disempowered currently with money. I'd like to transpose that to be empowered with money. Um,
Yeah.
and
So the thing I would say is the gate 55
uh-huh,
is Saturn is lighting up your gate 55.
uh-huh,
And the gate 55 is known as faith in quantum human design. I don't remember what it's in traditional human design, but it's basically the energy of abundance,
uh-huh.
not accumulation, but abundance in the sense of I always have what I need when I need to have it.
Yep.
So that's what I would focus on, is building your understanding of I have what I need when I need to have it.
Mhm.
Because that's
Yeah.
all that's that's an emotional energy around money that influences money. And then also you're 14, right? Which we've talked a lot about a lot, right? Is your
Yeah.
14 is really focusing on your service. So let me ask you this, Carrie. How excited are you about being an accountant?
Well, I was reflecting on that in one of the other shares that you were doing, in that um I don't get excited about the okay. So the particular role that I'm doing at the moment, I get really frustrated when I can't get in a flow of things. Like, you got to go here and there and all that sort of stuff. So then I do not feel excited about being an accountant. When I can see that I've then moved that to where I can then support the organization, um, the information that I can then provide to them supports the organization, then I'm excited about being an accountant. But getting from that methodical, no systems, no flow, the organization's a mess, I don't like that side of being an accountant.
Because I'm just wondering, Carrie, if the really the challenge for you is around not loving what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
We,
gonna, that, I mean, so the thing is the 14 is
yep.
about receiving resources in response to service.
Yeah.
And if you're not excited about the service you're providing, then it's hard for the 14 to give you the benefit that it has for you.
Yeah. Totally agree.
So my question, I guess, would be, is there a way for you to tweak or transform what you're doing in your work so that it's more exciting for you, more, you feel more enthusiasm for it? Because here's the thing, you've got this beautiful one gate that's lit up on the top of your G center, right? And the one, it's about purpose, about the sense of feeling on purpose. Like, do you feel on purpose when you're doing the accounting?
No, and I know what my purpose is, and it's not accounting. It's accounting is I'm incredibly grateful to be an accountant for how it supports me in being an entrepreneur. Yet that is not my purpose to bring out into the world for sure.
So do you feel conflicted about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a stepping stone.
Okay. So I think that the inner work for you here is to really make peace with you having a career that you like. Okay, you like aspects of it a lot, you don't like others. I mean, every career has that. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
that anybody gets a situation where they get to do every single thing they do they love. Like, I don't know,
totally. Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
don't think that exists. But to make your peace with doing that, um and not resent it, like, do you resent that at all?
no, I don't. No, I don't resent it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very grateful. Yeah, there's certain aspects, like you said, that I don't like, and we all don't like, and I'm now at a point where I'm diving into growth living. If something comes up, like I'll embrace it rather before I go, oh God, not again. Whereas now I'm just going, oh yes, another opportunity to grow and thrive.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it helps a lot, right? Just to be able to make that transition,
Yeah, yeah,
um well, let me throw out something really different,
please.
which is that you've got this beautiful G center
Yeah,
really lit up in your chart.
yeah, yeah.
How's your love and lovability?
My fur babies.
Because and a lot of what's lit up here is red, so it's unconscious, right? You might not be as aware of it, but it's like, I just look at that and I'm going, how's your sense of who you are? Like, do you love yourself? Do you accept yourself? Are you in appreciation of yourself? Are you feeling like this G center is lit up with energy? Or does it feel like there's flow here? Because it's such a core part of your definition, is how you're experiencing that G center.
Yeah,
So have you been working with the G center
yeah,
in
and
in
it's
embody? Yeah, in the, because we just were finishing up the centers. So I'm wondering if you have been working with that at all.
for sure, and it's a part that communicates more with me than my sacral. Like I'll ask my sacral, yet it's always my G that communicates more with me than
How does your G communicate with you?
it's like it'll give me an experience of more love or being more open or more flow, or it'll feel restricted, or so it's more that, or it'll actually give me feedback um, in different aspects. Whereas like the sacral is more yes no, very
It's very yes,
I
no.
yeah, either or. Whereas like the sack will go, oh yes, no, and then my G will go, oh well, what about, or what
Mhm,
about? Let's be
mhm,
curious about such and such. So it's that kind of feedback.
mhm, mhm. Because here's the thing, Carrie, like what you're just like having this relationship with money. I mean, one thing is just to look at the programming you got from your family, you
Yeah.
know, it's like, that's always the kind of the first place to look for a deep seated program that it feels intractable. And to really kind of dig in there and be like, okay, what did I learn about money from my mother? What did I learn about money from my father? What did I learn about money from my community? How is that influencing me now? How can I trace my understanding of the development of my psyche? Not because you want to go and get in there and be mad at your parents or anything. It's not about that, but it is about being able to trace it and then to be like, how am I still attached to this program? Why am I still attached to it? Is it because I have loyalty to my family? Is it, what is it? Because the thing is that patterns and programs don't change until what you're attached to comes to your awareness and you make a new choice.
Okay.
Does that
Could
make
you
sense?
elaborate on that in regards to like how my chart is so open, and if I don't have a strong relationship with certain aspects, so this conversation's about the money aspect, that I'm then taking on the energy of others. I'm then allowing them to
Yeah,
uh
I'm not talking about this in terms of human design, Carrie. What I'm saying is that we all are programmed before the age of 7 very heavily by the environment that we grew up in.
for
And we
sure.
carry all of that with us throughout the course of our life unless we change it,
Yeah,
right? And a lot of times our life experience gives us opportunities to change it. But money stuff, because it's so primal, can be because we associate money with survival.
totally.
Right. And so it goes in deep. And this is why it's on the sacral, right? The 14's on the sacral. And the sacral is deep. It's about our relationship to survival. The root's even more that way. But so I'm not suggesting something about what I'm saying is that there's some programming that you've got that's keeping you in place. I'm not talking about where it is in your chart. I'm talking about it being in your body and in your energy field about your belief system around money, right? And to be able to get at that by looking at what is that program and where are you attached to it? Because a lot of times it's deeper in there than you might think. Like I'll give you a really different example. This is not about money. But oh no, I can give you one about money. So when I was growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My parents got married in the 50s and I was born in 59, and they did the whole 50s thing. Um, and then, in the 70s, like a lot of people, their relationship started to blow up. And my mother had no work history after she'd gotten married. And so for her, it was like, and this is before she could even get a credit card in her own name, because women couldn't get a
Couldn't
credit
do it
card in their
back
own
then.
name till 1975.
Yeah.
And so all of that really impacted me. And I made a decision as a very young person that I would never be dependent on a man for money. And that had a lot of benefit in the sense that it led me to being able to create money and be good at creating money. But it's also had a big detriment to me because I haven't allowed other people to support me, which has not been good for me. And so I was attached to that point of view for a long time because I thought that my survival depended on my ability to make money for myself. Right. But I have been, I've been unraveling this because I'm like, wait a minute, I want to be supported in my life.
Yeah.
Why am right? So I'm working with that. I continue to work with that energy in me because it was really deep programming that I got for many years while I was a kid. Like I saw the power dynamic between my parents, right? Even though my parents had a great relationship and they got through it and they, stayed together till they both died. But so for you, what is it? What is the story around money that has been imprinted into you that you're still carrying around that you may be attached to in some way, but is in your way?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but human design isn't going to tell you that. That's for you to look at your life experience and unpack it
Yeah.
because it's imprinted into your design, right? But you change it by looking at the belief system and the story and the things you're attached to. Because the 14 will provide you with abundant resources when you are open. See, to me, Carrie, I just feel like there's some big boulder, some big belief, some big boulder of belief that is in your way that you haven't identified yet or you haven't changed yet. And I don't know what it is. But this is for you to excavate inside yourself.
Yeah. And which,
Does that make sense?
yeah. And I know you're saying it's not, um, quote unquote in my chart, but there's so much coming up through and with your program that I haven't looked at different aspects on my chart, which is then, impacting on other areas of my life. So it is all related.
It is related. What I'm saying though is the thing that's in your way, it's imprinted in your, not in your chart. It's
Yeah.
not. So
Yeah.
let's make a distinction. It's imprinted in your energy field and it's probably
Yeah.
imprinted into this energy system that human design represents for us.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
looking at this representation doesn't necessarily tell me. It does say, okay, you're identified with the disempowered aspect of the 14,
Yeah.
right? But why?
Yeah.
That's what it doesn't tell us.
Yeah.
That's what your life experience will tell you.
Yeah. And thank you very much for sharing about your story. I feel there's been some stuff around technology coming up the last couple of days, and the story that I'm aware of, that like, it's, do I have to sort this out by myself, or can someone else help me clarify this technology? So it's something in that's because in your sharing I got a there's potentially a similar aspect. So thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, and Carrie, just you're doing great. Okay. You're doing great. I know you wanted to go faster. We always wanted to go faster. But you're staying with it, you're continuing to explore, you're continuing to work at it, and I would just stay in it. But I'm just good. My intuitive hit for you today is focus on love. Just focus some more on love.
Yeah.
Because I think that, when you can get all of those love gates and that love center really radiating with a deep sense of love, that I think things are going to really shift for you.
It's the shift. It's that being on a treadmill.
But,
Yeah.
the thing is, and you've heard me say this before, is shift isn't going to happen one day before you're ready.
Yeah.
And you're engaged. The main thing for all of us, this is for all of us, is you just need to stay engaged. You can take a rest, you can take a break, but stay engaged. And trust that it is unfolding, even if it doesn't make sense, even if sometimes you get frustrated or you get scared. Then that's a good time to just do something completely different and, go rescue turtles. Did you go rescue turtles, Carrie?
Oh, I've been in touch. They mustn't have. No, I've certainly been in touch with them. They haven't set a date of when
You
we're
haven't
going to
set a
do it.
date. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
but you know what? That could just open your heart so much doing something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because part of this is just there's this kind of density that you have. There's a density to your energy. And I just want it to be like, oh. So that's why the Kriyas are good for you, doing, acts of service, like helping the turtles, like doing stuff like that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very
All right.
much.
And we'll stay with it.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll stay with it. We're in
We're
it.
definitely
We're in it. Okay.
yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, Carrie.